as it says it. And we are live. And yes, it is a different time. Happy Friday. And as we wait for our guest, sis, how are you doing today on this wonderful Friday in June?
I'm good. I'm ready to be outside.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready to be
Yeah.
outside. It's been a
It
while.
was raining earlier. I don't know
Okay,
if the weather's
yeah, it
like that.
was.
Mhm. Wonderful Texas weather, rains randomly. But yeah, definitely some sun is needed. Um, release the week. Things are good. Here we are.
Mhm. Just release it, please.
Yes. Joining you guys live today at a different time. Those of you that are popping in, thank you for joining. We have a very special guest this morning that we're accommodating a different time for. Miss Jasmine Crowe-Houston of Goodr.
Gooder.
Co. Goodr Co. Excuse me. And Everybody Eats, the author of Everybody Eats. Very excited to have this conversation today about, solving a problem that, has plagued a lot of us and people all over the world. So very happy to have her join us today once she gets on. Just running a little late. So we decided to just say good morning or good afternoon, wherever you guys are this morning. And thank you again for joining us.
I definitely feel like that's pretty dope to solve a global issue. Like, hunger is everywhere. It's everywhere. So to know that there's someone out there that has come up with a solution and is just doing her part, I think that's amazing,
Right.
honestly.
Yes, just seeing some of the past interviews she's done, reading a few excerpts of the book, and
Mhm.
really excited to get into the journey of it that she'll be explaining to us. Like you said, it is everywhere. So it is definitely a formula she's created that wasn't too difficult, but definitely can be implemented everywhere. So I'm happy to make sure that we put that on a different platform and keep pushing that message out. So very excited today. And we've never had on different shirts. So
I
sorry.
promise you guys, it's the same shirt, just different colors. That's all it is. Same shirt, different
It threw
colors.
me off when I looked up. Sorry, yes. I have on the white one today. This
I
is
have on the
our,
black one.
yes, your network
Ugh.
equals your net worth. Um, Part of why we do what we do and our why, making sure that we're building a network and community that uplifts voices and elevates entrepreneurs. So you guys can also get these shirts um, on our website that will be launching again this year because this is year 3 of
Yes.
Sister Soul Sessions.
3.
Yes. So we are very excited for things to come and just the guests that we have this year have been amazing. This summer, Hot Brand Summer's coming up. What else do we have just to get it all out there?
Oh, Fathers in Faith is a big one. Fathers in
Yes,
Faith,
next
our
week.
3-year anniversary, Hot Brand Summer. We as well have our vision board. So definitely, if you have not attended our vision board virtual event, definitely just be on the lookout for it. It is coming up, and it's very small. It's intimate. It's not live like how we
Yes.
are right now. It's very small and intimate, and we just share as a community our goals for the remainder of the year, the upcoming year, so on and so forth. So it's really nice. If you haven't attended one, definitely you should come to the next one coming up.
Yes. Be on the lookout for all of that. You'll be seeing us posting quite a lot for this summer. Like I said, we are very excited for year 3. A lot of growth and changes, and we're definitely elevating. So excited. We're going to give our guest a few more moments. I can't switch off of here, so never mind. I was going to hop over, but
You want me
I
to
can't.
chat?
Yeah, just to see if there's any issue or anything.
Yeah, of
But come
course. I
on
can
in,
chat.
everybody. Sit on down. If you're at work, pretend to be working. but definitely make
Definitely still do
sure
your
that you're
job.
here. Yeah, make sure that you are listening to these gems that will be dropped. Not only is it about solving a global issue, but also the journey in entrepreneurship and how to make that more than charity and make it a movement. So definitely come on in. And we have some time as our guests get situated and arrives.
So no updates. So
Okay.
that's good. That's a good thing. No updates. But also everyone who is watching, if you have not joined our Facebook community, please be sure to do so. If you are on LinkedIn, definitely be sure you follow us and connect with us on LinkedIn as well, as we do host events and lives on there as well.
Yes,
So again, that is Sister Soul Sessions. That's going to be on Facebook. Join the Facebook community. And then on LinkedIn, are we also Sister Soul Sessions on there as
we
well?
are. We are.
Definitely follow us on LinkedIn. Connect with us. It's completely different there. But of course, when you
Yes.
do join our private community on Facebook, there are ways for you to network, connect with other like-minded personalities, as well as
Hmm.
just having that one-on-one time with Brittany and myself. So it's a pretty dope community that I think you all should join. Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody should be there.
Right. Not only do we showcase these many masterminds and interviews, obviously, B and I started this because of our own entrepreneurial journeys. So you'll get tips, assistance, um, you know, what's next for any type of business development, social media. I know B actually has a social media management company. If you guys haven't been on her personal social media, you'll see just from her own page, the experience and the things that you will be getting. So definitely make sure that you follow. I'm also revamping Holistic Bee for business development and AI training, things like that. I'm working on a few things. So, all of that will be launching. But as our guest joins us here, we will get started with our interview. And let me
Mhm.
just add her to the stage.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
hello. Good
Hello.
afternoon, Miss Jasmine. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you
Oh, good to
doing?
hear. We are doing well. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us this time. I know it's the middle of your Friday. This is a very unorthodox day to have interviews, but we truly appreciate it. And we're just going to get started with our intro here to welcome Jasmine. So, everybody, welcome back to Sister Soul Sessions, where we're elevating entrepreneurs one soulful conversation at a time. This afternoon, we have a founder and CEO of Goodr, a TED speaker, author of Everybody Eats, wife and girl mom, and author, award winning social entrepreneur, Miss Jasmine Houston Crowe. So, we just want to thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, thank you. All right. And if you would just take a moment, Jasmine, just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your business and journey, and we'll go ahead and ask you some questions.
Yeah, so Jasmine Crowe-Houston, founder and CEO of Goodr. And Goodr, our mission is to feed more and waste less. And so we have essentially two lines of business. One where we work with a lot of corporations to help them divert their excess food into the hands of people that need it most. So we work with a network of nonprofits that are partners with Goodr in getting this food to people instead of landfill. And then on the other side of our business, the Feed More, we really work with our cities, we work with school districts, we work with corporate partners and celebrities, partners like the NBA, to make sure that we're giving people their dignity back and also giving them food that they need. So we're fighting hunger. We've provided probably close to 50 million meals now. And we really are proud of that because we don't measure meals by pounds, i.e., like we give you a 10-pound bag of onions. We would never say we gave you 10 meals. We really
Right.
measure meals by the actual items and the meals that you and your family can make.
Oh, beautiful. And what a mighty, problem that you have come in to solve. Like you said,
Mhm.
instead of going to the landfill, you're actually putting it back into the homes where we don't even realize it. You go to a restaurant and they're taking your plate, especially we just went to, what was it, Golden Corral. So hearing this, and I will admit, I mean, I just tried a whole bunch of things. So know that there is someone that is, making sure that things like that are not happening and we're just having these luxuries that we're throwing away. I really appreciate
Yeah.
you taking that up. Now, there are people who see a problem and feel compassion, of course, but very few decide to dedicate their lives to solving it. What was happening in your own life that made you say, I can't just witness this, I have to do something about it?
I don't know if there's anything happening in my own life other than, I had moved to Atlanta in 2013 when I started feeding on the streets. And it just was really seeing that so many people were
Mm.
experiencing homelessness at the time that kind of pulled on my heartstrings and made me want to do something about it. And then as I was doing that work, a video of my work went viral and people were asking me who donated the food. And the truth was just nobody. And so I started researching food waste a little bit more. But the root of that video actually going viral was the dignity piece. The fact that people that were homeless at the time were eating on tables with white linen and,
Mm.
ordering off of a menu and having steak and having shrimp and not just like a sandwich in a paper bag.
Yeah.
And so those were the things that were happening that kind of ultimately shaped who Goodr is today.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And very rare. And what an experience, to treat humans as humans. So I really appreciate,
Yeah.
it's missing, and it's really crazy that so many of us, kind of just look past that, in
Yeah.
our everyday lives. So we know Goodr started after years of feeding people from your own kitchen. What sparked that original act of service? Do you remember the day that you started?
I don't remember the exact day. I know, I had moved to Atlanta. I had saw people that were experiencing homelessness and just kind of thought like I wanted to do something. I know that the first time I ever fed was in October of 2013. So I do know that, but I
Wow.
don't remember that exact day when it kind of hit me that I wanted to do something. But I never stopped from 2013 till today. I've been feeding
Wow.
people, and it's been a journey. Sometimes it's just wild to even think of.
Yeah, 2013. Now, was this a part of your background already? Cooking, making sure that you take care of people. Like, where does this
I
energy
don't
come
think
from?
so. Yeah, I
No?
don't think so. It wasn't part of my background. I mean, I was a publicist for a while. I was a blogger,
Yeah.
but definitely wasn't cooking.
Wow. Okay. So just something, yeah, that really came on your heart. To make it such
Yeah.
a big business is amazing. That it was just something, like you said, that pulled on your heartstring from a move. Um, and purpose can be beautiful, but it can also be heavy, of course. Have there ever been moments when the weight of the mission maybe made you question whether you could continue, and what brought you back?
Yeah, there's never been a moment where the weight of the mission, like what we're doing, has never weighed me down. It's always lifted me up and made me know that I have to keep going. I think there are times just in business, so not so much in what we do, and not
Yeah.
definitely not the mission of feeding more people and wasting less food, but just like the politics, the employees, the issues that happen. All of those things are kind of what jars you sometimes and makes you feel like, is this worth it? But it's never been feeding people. I think there's definitely moments also with feeding families where I have seen a lot of people that are in need and sometimes feeling like, can we do more? Like, everybody
Mm,
needs so much. And sometimes there's not just enough to go around. And I hate that
yeah.
because we want to help everybody that we can.
Oh, of course. And I mean, like you said, I know those times have to be extremely difficult. You're really putting forth so much effort, but you do see like those faces. Do you remember a time where you saw a face or a moment that made you like, expand on the business because you weren't able to provide?
No, there's not like a one time. I mean, there's times like, for example, when the pandemic started, we really started revving up
Mm,
delivering food to schools and to students. I mean, there's been moments where shifts in the politics or in the communities, the health of our nation has made me have to step up more. But the individual stories, there's some every single day. I mean, we have an emergency food service, so I get stories daily of people that are like, hey,
mm,
I don't have any food to feed my kids tonight. And so I still, even going on 10 years of building Goodr, I still pop into our general info box often, because I want to hear from the people that we serve. And so I see those stories. I don't just leave all of that to, my assistants and everyone else.
right.
I really do pay attention to it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You have the bandwidth to keep doing it
Is
and making
right.
sure that you're in. Yeah. Like, making sure you're involved. Yeah. That's beautiful. Go ahead, sis. Sorry.
No worries. And so, welcome again, Miss Jasmine. And Goodr does operate from the belief that, and this really like resonates with me. And I kind of wanted to unpack this statement. Hunger
Mhm.
isn't a scarcity issue; it's a logistics problem. Can you kind of unpack that for us?
Yeah, I think the way that we see it is that if we're living in a country that wastes 40 to 50 billion pounds every 6 months, like we're not in a situation where we need to just produce more food to feed the growing population. We really see it as an opportunity to logistically route this food that's going to waste. Instead of it going to waste,
Mm,
we're getting it to people in need. And so that's kind of been our vantage point there.
mm,
Okay. I like that. I like that you saw the problem, you came up with a solution. And with that being said, when we speak deeper into the issue that being hunger, where do you think we're getting wrong in the fight against hunger?
I think we're doing the same things that we've always done. I think about when I was a kid and we were doing canned food drives, and now my daughter,
true.
is doing canned
Same
food
thing. Yeah.
drives. And so what we're seeing is that we're just doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. And so when we
Mm,
try and come in and say, hey, let's build grocery stores and let people have food for free, all these things it's seen as so radically different, right? And so I think that's where we're really different at.
yeah.
And so then, like, what is one of yours, especially doing this over 10 years? Can you
Yeah.
just tell us one of your proudest milestones thus far?
Well, there are so many. I think maybe opening our first grocery store inside of a school in 2021. I think now we've opened over 38 across the country and in various places, senior homes. We've done
Beautiful.
hospitals, we've done schools, we even opened a one recently in a library. So those moments really resonate with me because they are direct impact. I mean, I know every single day in each of those stores that we've opened along the way, people were eating daily because of Goodr. And
Mm,
so those have been really proud moments. We had when we launched our first mobile grocery bus, that was a really proud
Mhm.
moment.
oh,
I
wow.
think getting opportunities to work with like the NFL or the NBA, those are just things that are just kind of in my wildest dreams. I didn't even plan for. I remember being very into being Mary Jane when I was first starting Goodr and
Yeah.
having like little post-its on my mirror. And I at one point was like, Goodr will be worth $1 million and we're going to feed 1 million people. And to have surpassed that so many times over, for me, is still very wild.
Yes. And congratulations. That is
Yes,
amazing. Yes.
congratulations.
Your wildest dreams. Yes. Love it.
I know, and then just scrolling through your social media page, and I just found all this inspiration. I was like, oh my God, I was like, she does it all. She does it all. And like, what advice would you have to give a woman that's building a mission-driven company?
I
Mm,
would say, just always remember your why. And I think on
mhm,
because there's going to be a lot of hard days. And I think for me, and I've thought, hey, why am I still doing this? This is stressful. This is all of the, it's not as easy as it should be. Others get
Hmm.
all the resources. You're going to have all those conversations, and it happens as an entrepreneur. But if you are building something that's mission driven, that is your why. And so as long as you're deeply connected to it and doing it for the right reasons, as long as you can always go back to that, I think you're going to be in a great place to keep it going.
for sure. And I love that you spoke about, the grocery stores that you entered into schools, because I want to highlight that a little more. Schools, like you said, different centers, our elderly centers, things like that. That is a big feat and something I don't even understand. I'm trying to wrap my head around it when you're saying that if we opened a grocery store in a school. Um, so I kind of want to get back to that because food deserts are something that I, studied over, some time and just realizing that there's so many areas that just don't even have grocery stores.
Yeah.
So can you highlight that a little more and give us like even what it took? Because I know that that had to have been a lot of red tape because like you said, we don't even have grocery stores in our own communities that we own, things like that. So what did that take to put those grocery stores in those types of environments?
Honestly, I think the need was so high and the proof is so real and what we do that it didn't take a lot. I mean, when I opened the first grocery store, we were working with a celebrity at the time who actually had went to that school. And so it was really easy to kind of say, hey,
Nice.
I'm
Okay,
working with
yeah.
this celebrity. and they want to come and bring a grocery store. It was as simple as getting on the phone with the principal. And
Wow.
elementary school principals don't get a lot of calls like that, so they're definitely like, hey, let's have this conversation. And so that was probably a 2-week process, and us opening that first grocery store, from
Wow.
Okay.
celebrity client reaching out and saying, hey, I want to do a back to school event, and me saying, hey, I've always had this dream to open a grocery store in a school, and instead of doing a
Oh,
1-day
wow.
event, what if you did something that would last for the full year, and like these students could
Wow.
keep coming back to it? And they were like, yes, like, let's do it. So it was a 2-week turnaround, and now we have built so many.
Wow.
We've become so efficient with them that we could come in and build them in a matter of days. And so what I would say is, when you think about some of the school districts, so many school districts are struggling with attendance, they're struggling with
Yeah.
funding, they're struggling with all
Mhm.
these different things. And at the basis of the determination, if you ever hear like anyone talk about reading test scores, they always talk about this: third grade, fifth grade, eighth grade. No child can learn if they're hungry. So no teacher can teach through
Right.
it. So the root of hunger affects all of those things. It affects attendance, it affects, the kids being able to focus, it affects reading scores. So when you start to have those conversations with schools realize that they need this just as much as
Yeah.
you do.
Wow. To know that it is such a quick turnaround and
Right.
also realize that we don't have a lot more of these programs is kind of insane. But I'm glad that, took the helm and making sure that these are in, deserving environments. So, wow, that is amazing. Now I kind of want to get a little bit over to your book, Everybody Eats. Can we know what inspired that, outside of obviously this is the work that you do, but how do we turn into the author and making sure that we, pass this along?
Yeah, so I have 2 books. So, Everybody Eats is my children's book. That one came out in 2022. I really loved that. Started working on it probably right after my TED Talk in 2019. And the
Mhm.
idea was that I wanted to have and inspire future leaders continue this journey, as I realized so many people are experiencing hunger on this planet, 1 in 8 people in the world, that I was never going to solve it by myself. And so the idea was to inspire others to join me. And so my new book, Feeding Hope, which comes out July 21st, everywhere that books are sold, is more about the journey to building Goodr, and took in the hard days, and the moments that we failed, the things that we didn't get right. And really my goal is to potentially and hopefully inspire other social entrepreneurs.
Yes, amazing. And I'm so glad that you did get those books out. I love the Everybody Eats for children. I see the importance of teaching children about food waste,
Mhm.
especially, if we get in there early, maybe we can solve the problem.
Yes.
So I
My
love that
kids
you're
think about
solving the problem. Yeah.
it. Yeah, my daughter, my 5-year-old, is always like, "Oh, I don't want to waste food," so she uses
I
it
love it.
as a way to not eat. It's one of something. So
Put less on my plate. Yeah.
yeah, give me less. So I don't want to waste. So she definitely does a good job about that. But yeah, it's a,
Yeah.
it does start, and they do remember it.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I see that she just doesn't want to waste the vegetables. I'm sure she doesn't need
Yeah.
those on her plate. Now, with that, you are, Feeding Hope is coming out July 21st. You have your children's book. What conversations do you hope families have after reading these books together?
I think if they're reading the children's book, we talk about other children's feelings, and the fact that, for some parents reading this, their kids may never experience hunger.
Yeah.
For other kids reading it with their parents, there may have been days that they have had a struggle, right? And so I think it opens conversations around where things are, what's going on in the world, and also how we can show compassion for others. Because the
Yes.
reality is, what we may be experiencing today, someone else can experience it tomorrow, and you never
Right.
know what times can hit. And I think moments like the pandemic and other times, for me, certainly have showed me that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the pandemic was something that none of us expected. So it was amazing that you had so much tenure and you had already created so much by the time that that hit.
Yeah.
Like you said, definitely everything, I'm sure, like just vamped up for you. How difficult was it during that time? And what you're seeing in the economy now, are we seeing that same type of trend? Do you see where Gooder is being requested more, that you're getting more, reach outs or things like that?
Um, I think there's been times that, I mean, we've had our ebbs and flows. We're coming off of 2025. I am still a Black woman founder. We lost a lot of business in 2025.
Mm,
I was even thinking about having to shut down the company, just because people are
wow.
like, oh, we don't want to do business with, or we don't care anymore.
Mhm.
So I think, we're not in a place where it's just so easy, and we never will be. And I think
Yeah.
what I have to do is just keep going no matter what.
For sure. And I'm so glad that you are. I hate to hear that that's even a thing after so much, success in making
So
sure
much
that
growth,
so
right?
many families are fed, that you're even thinking of that. But I'm glad that you're pushing forward. And with this new book, I'm sure the word is going to spread even more so we can continue to grow this because we have to care. Everybody, as we're seeing what's happening, we have to care. And things like this are at the forefront of what we have to care about. Everyone has to eat and everybody eats. Um, but building something as impactful as Goodr often requires becoming a version of yourself you've never met before. What parts of Jasmine had to evolve, and what parts of yourself did you refuse to compromise along the way?
I definitely had to learn the art of accepting feedback. I remember my assistant at one point in the company had given like this really bad survey, like feedback. And it was interesting because one leader in our HR had kind of brought it to me like, hey, do you know this person feels this way about you? And I was like, wow, it was interesting. And I had, you had to have those kind of tough conversations where I think a younger Jasmine would have just been like, oh, like if they don't like me, they don't have to work here, right?
Yes,
So it's
yeah.
kind of like listening to what can you do to get a little bit better. I think the things that I refused to compromise on were like the dignity pieces, giving people less so that we
Yeah,
could make more. And there were a lot of tough conversations with investors. Investors didn't like that. It was like, hey, what could we cut out to save money versus,
mhm,
hey, we want to be able to do the most that we can.
yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah,
Mhm.
you don't even think about that. It's like, well, you got involved because we want to give and make sure
Right.
everyone's taken care of. So yeah, that must be very tough. And you spoke about younger Jasmine. So if you could sit down with that Jasmine who was preparing meals from her kitchen, what would you tell her about the road ahead?
I would say keep going. I would say that I would definitely tell myself that it's not going to be easy and there's going to be a lot of hard days, but I would try to keep going.
I love that. And so we just want to take a moment to talk about the phenomenal woman behind the mission, that being you, Miss Jasmine. So you're a wife, you are a phenomenal mother, entrepreneur, you're a change maker. How do you define balance with all of those titles?
I think I don't, I'm not one of those people to give like fake motivational advice. I have a lot of days where it's just a lot going on. I've got two kids, I'm a wife,
Yeah.
I try and work out, I try and, do all the things. I run a grocery store, and like one that's open to the community. I mean, we do so much. I still try and travel. So I'm not the best at balance. And I
Mhm.
think that's just something in life I don't have figured out yet. But I show up as my best self everywhere that I am. And there's a split amongst how much of my time in a day everybody in my life is going to get. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's not well balanced. Sometimes I take a lot less. Sometimes my husband gets a lot less. Sometimes my kids get less. Sometimes the business
Yeah.
gets less. It's not perfect across the board. And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with knowing that if it never gets perfect, if I can find happiness along the way, that's all that matters.
Oh, I love that you said it
No,
like
and
that
that's
because I'm one
real.
of those.
Right. Right. Say that's
Everyone
what I
asks
say.
me, I'm like, I just run until.
Yeah.
So yes, I love that. Thank you.
No, and that's real because I want to say, I guess the optic is for anyone who is not an entrepreneur and they look at entrepreneurs and feel like that they have it all together and that they have this balance of juggling many titles on a daily basis. When in all honestly, we don't. We
Yeah.
don't. We do what we can with the 24 hours that we're allotted. And of course, my sister's a mother. I'm a mother as well. And so, how has motherhood shaped your leadership style thus far?
I think it's been amazing. My kids come everywhere with me. I get them shirts to the business. I mean, they're like little partners. I think one of the kids could potentially, if I was running it, keep it going. Others, maybe not so much, right? So I think they're amazing. And I love just, showing up for them, showing them what it means to do
Yeah,
what I'm
that
doing.
part.
And the idea that we're helping a lot of people out. All of that matters a lot to me. So I have no complaints and just think that motherhood is probably one of the greatest,
Yeah.
experiences that you'll ever have, but it's definitely not easy, but I do love it. I love my kids.
Same. I love my little monsters. I have four, but have four wonderful children. My sister has two, and they are definitely part of our why we do this.
Mhm.
And when we talk about our day to day, what boundaries have you established or had to have established to protect your peace?
I block off lunch and gym on my calendar every day, no matter what.
Good.
Now, I don't always make it, but I know that I have 2 hours to myself
Yeah.
every day between 11:30 and 12 and 1:30. That is non-negotiable. Like, after this, I'm going to the gym. There's a 12 o'clock boot camp class I want to be at, and my
Mm,
gym is 5 minutes away. And so I make
Perfect.
those things a priority for myself. And I love that.
nice. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
I
It's
love the
like
gym.
part of my self care. It has to be gym,
Yeah.
has to be lunch, maybe a nap. I know adult naps is like very few and far in between, but maybe 10, 15 minutes. But definitely it's so important to just replenish, pour back into yourself, especially with the work that you do. You do a lot of pouring out. So definitely
Yes.
it's important to pour back into yourself, even if it is lunch and gym every day. That's still your time. Um, so what legacy do you hope your daughters inherit from watching your journey?
I think the legacy of like resilience, kind of just
Yeah.
keep going. The things that I've gone through thus far, they probably won't know, but I think now that they're growing up, they probably will. So I think as long as I keep going, I can show them to keep going as well.
Yes, ma'am. And very
It's
important
beautiful
for our
traits.
community and our girls, especially. And what you're doing completely replenishes the world. So I know that they see that in you. So I know that they're going to do great too. They're already a part of it. So that is amazing. Our next segment, we like to just give a little rapid fire. We like people to get to know you. And this is something you don't have to overthink. You're just going to say first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
So just like a little teaser, of course, first one, just be coffee or tea.
Tea.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Told you, sis. Leave the caffeine alone. All right. Now, would you consider yourself an early bird or a night owl?
Night owl.
And a TED Talk everyone should watch.
I'm going to say my TED Talk. What are we
There
getting
you
wrong
go.
here? Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
And one book that changed your life.
I would say The Audacity of Hope by President Obama has really just inspired me to hope. And I mean, that's pretty much why I named my book Feeding Hope, because it started there. I think the idea that I could do something.
Yes, do something bigger than yourself. I love it.
That- yeah.
Now, you did start in your kitchen, so what's your favorite meal?
I am a steak person. I love steak. I think
Are you
that's
red
like
meat?
what I make really well. And I'm a steak and seafood lover for sure.
Ooh.
And what's a hidden talent that maybe no one knows?
I don't know. I mean, I used to be a gymnast. I don't think it's so
Really?
Ooh.
try to do any kind of gymnastics today.
Yeah. No flips or anything, but
No,
you know.
none of that.
Now, what's the biggest misconception people have about you?
I honestly think randomly that I'm like very wealthy. So that's very funny. My sister was telling me she was going through something recently, and someone was like, yeah, but you could just ask your sister to buy you a house. And it just was so funny that
Oh,
people
whole
would think
house.
that I could
Okay.
just like
Okay.
a
All right.
house for my sister. So one day.
Right. Hey, thank you guys for speaking into an existence. That's
Yeah.
what you meant.
Yes.
Now, one thing your younger self would be proud of today.
That I'm doing something to help people. I think I always wanted to do that. I found one of my many, many journals from probably when I was 15, and that I had that in there that I
Oh,
wanted to be
really?
known for doing something good. And so that the fact that I would find that many, many years later when I'm in the thrones of doing something good in this world is just so cool. So
Yeah, it
I
is. Oh, wow. I'm so glad you're able to find that. Yes. That's
yes.
why, yeah, you have to keep real journals. I was reading through some of mine. A lot of
Hmm.
them are prayers, so I'm gonna make sure I look it back at it for certain things as well. So that's amazing. Now, if Goodr didn't exist, what would you be doing?
Probably still working in like the celebrity nonprofit realm, I'm pretty sure. And a dream would be to like be a teacher, but more of like a professor.
Yeah, right. Because the little kids, sorry, I love you guys, but it's a little scary and it's a little difficult at that stage. And Miss Jasmine, what's bringing you joy right now?
Probably just getting ready for this new book, and my kids are in year-round school, so they just started school on
Okay.
Monday. So that was pretty cool. My youngest just started preschool, and so far she doesn't love it. But it's been
Oh,
excited to have her there. She's been with the nanny for so long, so she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I don't go to school. What is this?" But I think she's gonna get
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, well, congratulations. What a milestone. Yeah, that's a journey. So both
it.
girls in school. I love that.
Yes.
so we're going to switch gears, and this part of the segment is what we call complete the sentence. So the first sentence is success means.
Hmm. I was gonna say success means success, but success means completion,
Oh, I like that one. Community means.
love,
I like that one. Faith means.
no fear.
Hmm.
Okay. Yes. Leadership requires.
Leadership requires humility.
That sounds right.
Mm, no, that's real. Hunger is.
A beast. As someone who works on it every day, it's a beast
Okay, and the last one. Everybody deserves.
to eat.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate that. Pure and uncut. We love to ask those questions because it just gives us a real view of like what you believe and how this business grows. And you definitely are in alignment with this, so we appreciate that. Now, what would you tell the woman sitting on a purpose she's afraid to pursue?
You can't have faith and fear and co-alignment. And so I think
Mhm.
if you have a purpose that you believe is worth it, you should go after it. I think there's nothing wrong about it.
Yes, faith and fear cannot live in alignment. I love that. And how can ordinary people create such extraordinary impact like you have?
I think what's extraordinary to you and extraordinary to someone else is going to be different. And so I think just get started. Like, for me, I would have been happy feeding a million people.
Yeah.
To know that we've surpassed that is great. So I think just get started. The goal doesn't have to be in millions, it could be in hundreds. It could be, hey, I want to feed 10 people today. And you do that, and that could be extraordinary for you.
Yeah. And still successful. Yes, ma'am. And if someone wants to support Goodr's mission, where should they start?
I would go to goodr.co, goodr.co, and get started there. I mean, we would love to have anybody's support, and we really love what we do.
Yes, ma'am. And sis, I know you love this part. I'll let you ask.
So this is our last question. We like to give our guests just a little time to kind of think on this question. So, Jasmine, we would like to ask you if you could title the memoir of your journey thus far, what would the title be and why?
Hmm. I mean, I think since I already have a book that's kind of a memoir, in a sense, it would be Feeding Hope, essentially, just because
Perfect.
it's been what I've been doing for the past 10 years, and it's been a lot.
Yeah.
So and I
Mhm.
think the reason why I would call it that is that's all I had was hope, and all I felt like I was giving people was hope in the time when things were so hard.
Yes. I love it. And we will definitely be checking that out. Thank you for taking that down, sis. All right. And Jasmine, we just want to thank you
I
for
got you.
sharing your wisdom, your
Me
heart,
too.
and your mission with us. If you could just tell everyone again where they can connect with you, support Gooder, and grab a copy of these books.
Yeah, so the books are available everywhere books are sold. You can connect with Gooder at goodr.co, no M. We're everywhere on social at Gooder Co, and I'm everywhere on social at Jasmine Crowe.
Thank you so very much.
Thank
And
you
sis, if you'd
guys.
like to, no, thank you so much, Jasmine. And sis, if you would like to go ahead and sign us out here.
Yes, of course. Thank you again for joining another impactful episode of Sister Soul Sessions, where we elevate entrepreneurs on soulful conversations, one conversation at a time. Thank you so much again, Miss Jasmine. This has been an honor, honestly. We appreciate you. We just wanted to give you your flowers.
Thank you so much. You ladies have a good one.
You as well.
You too. Thank you.